University hospitals list moving as the number 3 largest stressor on someone, behind only death of a loved one and divorce.
So right now, moving is really stressful. There's a combination of school and work added on top of moving. It can be stressful because you're trying to balance everything, and being a young girl in college who doesn't have her parents around, this is sort of the first time you're thrown into it, trying to figure out the best way to pack things up, making mistakes like putting too many things in one box and having it be too heavy to carry around. It's a lot to take in at once to handle on your own.
And in college, students are likely to move at least once or twice. The 2007 ACS data shows that after 18 years old, the average person will move 9.1 times.
Oh, moving sucks. Yeah, I got into a good house now, so I don't really feel the need to ever do it again, but I really, after doing it 3 times in Tallahassee, I have no need to, especially with like how much other stuff comes around and coincides with the moving process and the dates. I really I'm just gonna chill where I am. If I'm gonna move again, I'm gonna move out of Tallahassee.
College is also a time of extreme stress regardless of moving, especially as students get closer to joining the work world or master's programs or doctorate's programs. Renters in apartment complexes over summer set move-out deadlines that are sometimes over a week before classes end, and most times are a week before or slightly less.
Yeah, with the combination of school, moving is 1,000 times harder because you don't have time to sort of sit around and neatly pack everything up and decide how you're going to move everything out. You're also working on projects, and trying to find time for both of them is definitely really stressful.
And with work.
Work on top of it, of course, yeah, because that's something that school and work are not things that you can postpone or delay or change. You're just sort of working around the hours that you're in class and the hours that you're scheduled to work. Because if you work like me, you have to work to pay rent, and so you don't have the luxury to just not show up.
Renters in apartment complexes on or near college campuses should allow for late move-outs only for students and current workers, because at such a stressful point in life, students should not be expecting to have to continue their classes or jobs while simultaneously moving out of their current apartment or house.
I went home for those 4 days, which is a 7-hour drive, because I couldn't find anyone else with space. So I just went home, dragged all my stuff 7 hours back, and then a couple of days later drove the 7 hours back here. It was miserable.
This is a problem that can be related to students' mental health and their levels of stress and anxiety. The last week of college semester is filled with final exams and final projects that require ample study and work time. The last week of a college semester is also filled with apartment and house move-out deadlines that are not sympathetic to the other responsibilities in students' lives. My solution is considerate of renters and students, because I think as long as students and workers can provide documentation that they have responsibilities that warrant them to stay a week or 2 after the deadline, then they deserve late deadlines. This solution also still gives renters in apartment complexes time to complete turn, because they can work on their properties that do not have students still in them, and can work on the places with extensions after the first week or 2. This still gives renters and apartment complexes time to have all of their newly vacant properties before the next semester starts, because the majority of students maintain in their apartments or houses. Apartment complexes and renters have the ability to grant some extra time to students with continued responsibilities. Not to mention, if apartment complexes and renters offer this opportunity, it would surely be a great advertising point to draw students into leasing. To ensure that students are not just abusing this opportunity and apartment complexes and renters can retain trust, students should be required to sign up for late deadlines and provide documentation. The documentation would be in the form of a class schedule, work schedule, or project due dates that show move-out deadlines would be conflicting. Moving is one of the most stress-inducing experiences in a person's life, and to add on to that with the stress that comes along with finals week is a lot to put on a student's plate. And even though some universities provide temporary housing to students in this situation, it does not actually provide a solution, because that still requires students to move during finals week. If apartment complexes were willing to provide students with extended deadlines, it would actually solve the problem and limit the stress of this nearly impossible balance. In conclusion, apartment complexes and renters should work with students to help reduce stress in the appropriate circumstances, as long as students are being honest and not exploiting this because of sheer laziness.